Good afternoon. How's everyone today? How was lunch? Was it good? Did you enjoy it? Terrific. My name is Edward Yip. I'm one of the co-chairs for this year's conference. Can you hear me now? Okay, great. All right. So I'm one of the co-chairs of our conference this year, and I'm also president of 358 Consulting, which is a business advisory firm. Hope you enjoy your lunch, and for those who are just joining us now, on behalf of the Planning Committee, welcome to the 2013 Asian American Business Conference. And for those of you who attended the morning seminars, we hope you learned something new, or perhaps recalled something old. Again, this year's conference is hosted by the Governor's Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs, the Governor's Commission on South Asian American Affairs, and also other business and community leaders. We have an extremely exciting luncheon program for you today. And to begin, I will ask Pavan Bezwada to come up to introduce our keynote speaker.
Distinguished guests, good morning. My name is Pavan Bezwada. I serve on the Asian American Business Conference 2013 as the Vice Chair of the Program Committee. And I also serve on the Governor's Commission on South Asian American Affairs. On behalf of Asian American Business Conference, it is an honor to welcome and introduce the keynote speaker, Mr. Frank Islam, a distinguished Indian American, an entrepreneur, investor, and a philanthropist. As many of you may know, Mr. Islam was in the news recently. We are all proud of his recent appointment by President Obama to the Kennedy Center Board of Trustees. I think we should give him a good hand for that. He also served on the administration as a member of the advisory committee of the Export-Import Bank of United States, as a member of the Department of Commerce Industry Trade Advisory Committee, and numerous other boards and advisory council. There is a whole list, and I don't have enough time to read the list, but he's very passionate about education, and he serves on George Mason, Robert Smith School of Business, and Johns Hopkins. So he's very passionate about education. The journey of Mr. Islam started when he was 15 years old, when he came to US along with a professor. And he completed his BS in computer sciences and master's in computer sciences from Colorado University. He is the CEO and founder of FI Investment Group, a private investment holding company focused on providing strategic capital and management support to emerging businesses. In 1994, he founded the QSS Group, an information technology services company that propelled his career to greater heights. He started QSS with one employee, and by 2007, he had 2,000 employees with 280 million in revenue. He currently devotes his time to civic service, philanthropic causes, and investment management. At a time when our nation is engaged in a conversation on immigration, the life and career of Mr. Islam is an incredible and a compelling immigrant story. It also reflects the greatness of this nation that provides the environment and the resources for an immigrant to realize his or her full potential. I want to close my introduction by quoting from one of Mr. Islam's speeches, and I quote, "All of us will do well to remember that in America's all of us will do well to remember that it is America's inclusiveness and openness that provided us with a ladder of opportunity. America has made an investment in all of us. It is my fondest hope and expectation that we may make an investment in America by sharing and giving back, unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Frank Islam.
All of you look like me, which is very rare. So I'm delighted to be here today. And thank you very much, Pawan, for your fine introduction. I should have you everywhere for my introduction. You will do a great job. And good afternoon. So, distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I want to express my deep appreciation for your warm welcome. My special thanks to the AEBC Organizing Committee leadership for inviting me to deliver a keynote address on the subject of Build Your Business and Renew America and American Dream. I'm humble and deeply honored. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank many, many friends who are here, Rana Sheikh, Ed Yip, and the Joint Asian American and South Asian Commissions. And also my sincere thanks to Bella and Min Lee. And we all work together for President's re-election campaign and the National Finance Campaign. They are indeed leader of our community. And thank you for your service to our country, both of you. Where is Bella? Thank you, and thank you, Min, for your service to our nation. And we shared a common goal because we're doing a fundraising events for, this is not a political, thanks for Mr. Brown, so I would hope you'll come to my house, right? And my house was profiled not too long ago at Wall Street Journal. So it is a special pleasure to be here today with you, Asian American entrepreneurs and business people. A sense of humility brings us together as a fellow Asian American, linked by common goals and bonded by shared backgrounds, shared history, and shared heritages. I know where you have been. I know where you're going. I hope that some of what I share with you will help you to get there more effectively, more efficiently, and in a manner that will enable you to contribute to renewing America and the American dream. So, I will share with you three main messages. Number one, make it your journey. Second, think small to win big. And third, do well, but also do good. So let me begin, make it your journey. Let me tell you a little bit about my own journey, and then talk about yours. I came to the United States from India at the age of 15. India, a country that I love and care deeply, just like I love and care deeply about America. At the young age, I was not quite sure how I would achieve that dream, but I knew even then that being a business owner would be a part of it. I also knew that it would mean being apart from my family and developing my own career track with no or little parental or professional guidance. For those of you in the audience who have followed similar paths, I know you recognize this is a daunting challenge. But it was also an opportunity. That's the way I saw it, an opportunity to define myself in America. And my story, and the story of all of you, should resonate well with millions of immigrants across the globe and across this nation. And it reaffirms the notion that America is indeed a land of opportunity. I believe in American dream. So let me get back to the process of defining myself. Here in America has 6 stages. Creating a good education. As President Obama said many times about education, Education will be the currency of the 21st century. Education frees the human mind from the shackles of ignorance. Number 2, willingness to take risks. Number 3, becoming an entrepreneur, building a strong and talented management team to deliver what customer wants. You should never forget that without customer, you would not have a business. Number 6, being passionate, being focused, and being committed, and being personally engaged and involved in every aspect of the business. So I got my bachelor's degree and my master's degree in computer science from the University of Colorado and Boulder. And Boulder is indeed breathtaking. That gave me the knowledge that I needed to go into business. So when I graduated with my advanced degree, I was not prepared to go directly to owning a business. That is because I did not know how business operated. I had no real exposure to business prior to starting college. I knew I needed experience before launching my own venture. So I worked with 2 major information technology companies here in Washington, D.C. area for about a decade to learn the ropes and the ins and outs of the government business. That gave me the skills and the real world grounding that I needed to start my own business. So after doing my apprenticeship in 1994, I purchased the company QSS Group Incorporated for $45,000 by mortgaging my house. And that was a good investment that I ever made because I made $400 million cash when I sold the business. That's a good return on the investment. So within 13 years, along with my key management team, we took that from a workforce of 1 employee, that's me, to more than 2,000 employees, to approximately $350 million in revenue. So starting a business is about taking risk. It is about confronting uncertainty. It is about getting out of the comfort zone. It is about venturing into new horizon and experiencing the environment. So when you ask me how I became successful, it was not me, but we who made it happen. My team of talented senior management team were central to everything. So success in business is a team sport. So in 2007, I sold my company to Perot Systems Corporation. And I met Mr. Perot, Ross Perot, who you probably all know, a true American icon, and I sold my business on a piece of paper at lunch hours. That was a pretty good deal. That still allowed me to establish a private foundation that supports educational, cultural, and artistic causes in the United States and around the world. I firmly believe that to whom much is given, much is expected. I am always guided and reminded by this phrase. That is why I'm focusing today on sharing and giving back. As Pawan said, America has provided us a ladder of opportunity for all of us to succeed. It is high time that we make investment in America by sharing and by giving back. In many ways, the process of sharing and giving back is as and even more rewarding than any of the money that I earned throughout my business career. So that's my journey in a nutshell. But as all of you in the audience who are on your own journey understand and appreciate, my journey was not a straight line. It was not always easy, and the final destination was not certain. So during those desperate and dark days of my life, there were several issues to be dealt with that I'm assuming most of you have confronted. Will we win the contract? Will I get the bank loan? Will I be able to make the payroll? There were some 24-hour days, many sleepless nights. I'm assuming that most of you have been there and done that as well. So what enabled me to prevail on my journey was a belief in myself and those around me, and the opportunity presented by the American dream. So success have taught me how to move forward, but the failure taught me to never go backward. From the time I started my business, I knew implicitly that you needed to move ahead, and then if you did not, you'd be left behind. So enough about my journey. I hope that it is instructive. But as I said at the outset of my speech, make it your journey. So Frank Islam's journey was Frank Islam, just as Bill Gates was Bill Gates, Stephen Jobs was Stephen Jobs. So my advice to all of you in your businesses is stay true to you. I saw this saying recently on a notepad by the phone in a hotel room where I was staying. It resonated well with me because that has always been one of my personal mantra. Stephen Jobs, who I admired and respect, said something similar in a commencement address at Stanford University before he passed away. And I quote what he said: "Your time is limited, so do not waste it living someone else's life." End of quotation. So as a business owner like yourself, you are postgraduate. So let me modify Jobs' advice to all of you. Your time is limited, so don't waste it trying to emulate someone else's business. Do not be me too business. Do not be a clone. Chart your own path. Create a mission, vision, and a set of values that are unique to your enterprise. In other words, make it your journey. While each of your journeys should be and must be different, I think that there is a common approach that you can employ as a general guideline for achieving success, and that is think small to win big. Woody Allen, one of my favorite actors, said, and I quote, 90% of the life is just showing up. End of quotation. So I became successful, and I believe you can, as a business owners as well, by concentrating on the 10%. That means focusing and paying careful attention to the critical few areas that make a difference for business success. For me, in my business they were, number one, developing a distinctive core competence. Number two, establishing a laser beam customer focus. Number three, creating the niche differentiation. Number four, ensuring perfection in performance. So let me address each of these areas in turn. Core competence. So when I started my business, IT firms in DC were a dime a dozen. Nothing set them apart. I decided that my firm could stand alone through an integrated blend of engineering, science, and information technology. The IT skills were the basic requirements. The science and engineering skills separated us from the pack. The second, laser beam customer focus. I'm sure that most of you have been following Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, who purchased the Washington Post. Bezos recently promised to bring his obsessive commitment to the customer to turning around the Washington Post. I wish him good luck as he undertakes this new journey. But I'm sure that will pay off big times, as did our obsessive commitment to the customer at my company, QSS Group Incorporated. So we got our first assignment from NASA because of my scientific background and executive experience at Raytheon, we treated NASA extremely well, exceeded their expectation, and as a result got significant add-on from 1994 to 1997. NASA was only one customer for us. We use our track record there as the basis to expand our business. So that brings me to the third area, niche differentiation. We did not expand willy-nilly. We expanded outward from our core client business to those with similar characteristics and needs. So QS's first work outside of NASA was NOAA, then FDIC, then Department of Defense, the national security agencies, and the other agencies. We were able to expand and grow quickly because of our perfection in performance. Past performance is critical in getting government contracts. I knew that many IT firms were late in deliverable and sometimes did poor management and shoddy technical work. I committed and I vowed that my firm would stand apart from other firms in this competitive arena, and we established performance as promised as QS's corporate motto. It was more than a motto. It was the way we did business and a springboard for getting additional business. So those are the four areas in which I thought small to win big at QSS. While your strategies and tactics will differ given the nature of your business, I think the core management principles of core competence, customer focus, niche differentiation, and perfection in performance are cross-cutting and can be used to be successful in any line of business. So let me add, in addition to those four areas that I mentioned earlier, that is building the right top management team through recruitment, selection, and sharing the wealth as a part of the formula for business success. Your core group, the 4 to 6 individuals closest to you, can make a difference between a business being one that is moderately successful with slow growth and margin profitability to the one that is highly successful with fast growth and profitability. If you have got the right folks in place, you can trust those key decision makers who you have recruited to run the business. You do not need to be a control freak involved in every aspect of business. Concentrate your attention where you can add value and make a difference. I do not know what those areas will be for each of you. My advice, regardless of what they are, though, is to hire the very best. Hold them accountable. Get out of their way. Let them do their jobs. Give them some oxygen to breathe, and they will do the wonders. Let me share another piece of advice. Always look ahead, not dwell on the past, and not be complacent. So that brings me to the final topic for my talk today: do well, but also do good. If you have been reading the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, or any of the business journals, these days you're probably seeing reference to the need to create an economic virtuous cycle, a condition in which positive results engender more positive results and help to grow the economy. Today, the economy should be moving towards a virtuous cycle because many large corporations have been and are reaping record profits. Instead, we are stuck in a variable cycle. That is because those corporations are doing nothing to little to nothing to create new jobs or to raise wages or reward the employees appropriately for their increased productivity and contribution to stellar business performance. As a result, these positive results are not reinforcing and extending themselves. To my mind, the reason for this is simple and straightforward. The virtuous cycle may be defined as an abstract economic principle or concept, but for the virtuous cycle to come into play in the real world, you need virtuous organizations. So you're probably wondering, what is a virtuous organization? So here's my definition. The virtuous organization is the one that has a strong moral value and a compelling mission that creates value for customers, employees, and the community. Let me repeat that definition again. The virtuous organization has a strong moral value and a compelling mission that creates values for the customers, employees, and the community. The virtuous organization does well, but also do good. In my opinion, you as a small business owner from a minority background have a special challenge and opportunity to be leaders in helping to jumpstart the virtuous cycle here in America, the way in which you build and manage your companies to make them virtuous organizations. So to build a virtuous organization, you will have to play 3 roles. Number 1, a navigator. Number 2, a capital creator. Number 3, value generator. As a navigator, you must chart the course and shape the way your business sails the seas. You must make sure your company does the right thing and does them right. You must build both your company's core competence and its core consciousness. Core consciousness brings the organization's belief, such as integrity, quality, and excellence, front and center in the organization's psyche and mode of operations. So when I said capital creator, probably the first thing that came to your mind was financial capital. Financial capital, however, is a dependent variable. It requires the right business model and other forms of capital creation in order to yield the appropriate return on investment. So let me highlight 2 of those other forms of capital creation where you as a leader of the virtuous organization should concentrate. They are intellectual capital development and spiritual capital development. In terms of the intellectual capital, every organization has what I call its organizational IQ. That is the combination of all of the IQs of the employees in the company. Your challenge is to ensure that the organization is structured and operated to allow the employees to use all of their individual brain power in order to achieve its minimum IQ. Your opportunity is to create collaboration and teamwork that result in synergy, thus creating intellectual capital that exceeds the total of all of the individuals in the business. Spiritual capital is the invisible force that moves the organizations and individuals. Your challenge and opportunity here is to create the positive, motivational force field that causes all of the associates in your business to want to bring their A game into play day in and day out in order to achieve the company's business and the mission. Finally, there is you and your role as the value generator. Michael Porter, who is one of my favorite authors from Harvard University, developed a business management concept called the value chain. The chain is comprised of primary activities such as inbound logistics, operations, and outbound logistics, and support activities such as human resource management and technology. Michael Porter said that each element in the chain should add value, and when they all did, it gives the business a competitive advantage. An added value chain is definitely essential for business success. In the virtuous organization, there's a matching concept that is the value circles. These are circles that emanate outward from the business owner to the top management team to employees, the customer, and ultimately to the community. It all begins with you, the owner. Your vision and values shape and define the company's culture. If those values include concern, caring, compassion, and commitment to making a positive difference in the society, those values are reflected in everything that the business does, from the manner in which it operates, treats employees and customers, to the community involvement and philanthropic initiatives. So think of it this way. You, as the leader, are the person who drops the rock in the pond, and as the circles ripple out, they reflect your own image. So let me close my remark by saying that we are living in a tough, trying, and turbulent times in America. We are at the crossroad in America. Our citizens have lost trust in most of our institutions, including the Congress of the United States, which has become so dysfunctional. But the good news is, the research showed, however, they still respect and trust small businesses and entrepreneurs. That is why, as I look at all of you in the audience today, not only do I see our future business leaders, I also see the best hope for renewing America and the American dream. I believe that the respect and the trust that citizens confide in small business people, especially in those such as you, from a minority and are socially or economically disadvantaged background, is well deserved. That is because you have done it in the old-fashioned way. You have earned it. In my opinion, if you continue to stay the course by making it your journey, thinking small to win big, and doing well and also good, you will continue to earn it. I hope that the thoughts that I have shared with you today have made a modest contribution to increasing your earning power, and that in return, you will use that power to renew America and the American dream. All of us have to recognize that American dream is a continuous journey. The journey began and is sustained by the contribution of each and every citizen like yourself. So remember, as long as you believe in yourself, the future will always be yours. President Obama once said on the future, he remarked, and I quote, "It is a future that is ours to define, ours to decide, and ours to win." End of quotation. So I wish all of you continued success in the future. I'm sure you will rise to the challenge. In America, our country was founded with the premise that if you conceive it, if you believe it, you should be able to achieve it. But all of us will do well to remember that no matter how steep the path, how discouraging the pace, never give up on your goals. One of my favorite quotes comes from Mr. Churchill, who said in 1941, near the beginning of the World War II, and I quote, "Never give in, never, never give in, except to conviction of honor and good sense." End of quotation. That was good advice then, it is a good advice today. So once again, thank you for the opportunity. It has been a privilege, and thank you once again, and God bless you, and God bless America.